And we took you to Adelaide.
Then
How
you
did
took me
that
to
property
Adelaide.
go?
Oh, the one in Adelaide, the one you got for me, it's by far the best performing property I have. I only have 4, but out of all the properties I have, that is the best performing one. Why? Because when you asked me for what my goals were, and you asked me my circumstance, this is again why I think sets you guys different from other agents out there, is because when I approach agents before, they will look at my circumstance, but they will just ask me like, what's your borrowing capacity? And and some of them will try to max that, or some of them, all right, this is a good project, there's a lot of profit in this, but what they don't look at is the overall picture on can Rex still acquire more properties after getting this one? And let's just say that one gets put on hold, or he never develops it. Can he just buy normal ones after? And a lot of people's borrowing capacity gets maxed out because of the properties they buy. And that's what I learned from you. You look at positive gearing properties that are have good capital growth, and I never knew they existed. I thought you could only get that from apartments, the high capital. I mean the high rental yield. I know apartments are, I thought you had to sacrifice either high rental yield or capital growth.
Yeah.
And where you found properties that are both. And so, it really amazed me when you showed me these things that, me, I do my own research. When you showed me that, I looked, and, the properties you're looking at, I looked at the rent. I'm like, oh, wow, like there's areas like this.
Yeah.
And so that property at the moment is, like we bought that for $550. We're getting $500 rent on that. I bought my Werribee property for $550, a while back. I'm only getting $350 rent out of that.
Yeah.
So that's a good comparison, I guess. The same block, like my property in Werribee is 900 square meters. The one in Adelaide is about 850.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry.
1,000 square meters.
Sorry, that was actually nine. Sorry, that's 900 as well. So it's a very good comparison, actually. Those two.
Yes, it's a very big property. Yeah.
So yeah.
And you took it one step further, right? We ended up buying the next block, and that was an amazing story. I still remember, you reaching out to me and say, "Hey, my neighbor is selling. Should I buy?" And talk to us a bit about that. I think that basically transformed the property from a 3-unit site to a 6-unit site now, and you're basically doing a land sub typically there, right?
Yeah. So like it was crazy so I bought that property, and I thought I maxed out. Well, I didn't max out my borrowing capacity at that time from the Adelaide one, the first one we bought. But then luckily I have a really good broker, and, Rob. And what happened is my next door neighbor put up the property in sale. I was looking at it, and I was like, I better talk to Moxin first. Yeah, I told Moxin, what do you reckon? And, I said, but before I even spoke to you, I spoke to Rob already. I said, Rob, can we do this? If I was to talk to Moxin for his advice, and Rob said, we can do it. We'll find a way. And so that's when I spoke to you. And you're very honest with me. You said, Rex, the interest rates are going to go high. You said it to me. You said, but you don't look at, like, you're buying this you're not getting a discount from buying this, but you're buying it for the options you can do with it. So having it side by side gives you option to take some land from this place and give it to the next door neighbor to be able to subdivide it to what you want, which is what we're doing now. We took some land from that new property, mixed it with the first one we bought, and we were able to subdivide it into 4. So you gave me the facts, and it was up to me to take action.
Yeah.
And so, these are the kind of things I never had. I didn't have anyone to ask guidance for.
And it's a good project, right? You're still, looking at 250 to 300,000 quite easily. If you do it well, if you do it in the good market, you're still saving the house. You're still creating more cash flow. I think you've changed the granny flat and creating that into a much more cash flow positive side as well. So you have done really well in being creative on the side as well. You've taken it to the next level. So
yeah, so that was good in that sense where like the second property had an option for it was a bungalow there, and when I first saw it, I said, we could turn this to a single bedroom granny flat. Yeah, so in that sense too, like I can choose to sell the first property we bought with the plans of permanent and pay off the next door neighbor, and then they'll be producing around $800 a week income with the granny flat and the existing house there. So there's a lot of options, and that's what I like.
Definitely.
with the developing side, you have so many options to do.
And I mean, there were developers drooling and fighting over that piece of land, isn't it? And you had the perfect advantage because you owned the next door property. And so you could always be better against these, developers, right? Because while the land was selling at 1,000, 1,200 per square meter in these areas in Adelaide, it's only like, I think 15, 20 kilometers from the radius.
Yes.
I think that the school is the best school. The zone is the best zone. And, people really fight because there is not a lot of land available in the area. So, touch wood, I do strongly believe that you would do seriously well in some of those pockets. So, yeah.
And like, just to give people a bit of perspective, like on how good that first property you got for me in Adelaide was, we bought that for 550. The next door neighbor put up a similar land size, and the house similar house size as well. We bought the second one for 740.
Yes. Yeah.
So in that time frame, and the land size is like 100 square meters difference. 550 next door neighbor 740 the next year. That's 200 grand difference.
Yes. Yes. But I mean, I think it made sense for us to pay that premium because we could combine the two together and make it a much bigger site, right? I think so while there were other developers still ready to pay that money, even making, that deal work because it was a corner lot, you could do 4 there. Combining the 2 lots together just opens the world of opportunities, right? I think, when we spoke to the architect, we spoke to the land surveyor, I was just so surprised as to how creative you were working. I remember giving you a plan and you'd be like, nah, let's do it that way. And I was like, wow, this is just epic. This is awesome.